Hello, welcome back to Unicorn Investing. And so today I want to share with you what I plan to do with my Tesla position, which is currently in the seven figures. So I think a lot of Tesla investors would be wondering, well, is there still further room for the price to surge further? Because, Tesla has been surging since the Q3 earnings call, I think on the 21st of October. So it has been basically surging from about $800 all the way up to yesterday close at 1208. And in fact, it continued to move higher after hours and basically settled down at around 1218 to 1220. So congratulations to all the Tesla investors, who are still, especially those who are still holding right now. So in this video, I will talk about, the first thing will be the Tesla valuation, whether is Tesla overvalued right now. Well, it could be overvalued, but I'll be sharing some looking at some P ratio earnings, as earnings estimates, and consider whether Tesla is overvalued. Is it in bubble territory? Or is it is the bubble getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Is it about to burst soon? So that's the first thing we want to talk about. Then of course we'll be looking at the price chart and see whether there's still further room for it to go, since the price has been rising in a parabolic manner in the last 2 weeks after earnings call. And then I'll be revealing my Tesla positions and share with you what I plan to do. As we know that Tesla is highly volatile, and I think most Tesla investors are expecting a correction to come soon. How large the correction will be is hard for us to know. But I suspect the correction should not be more than 25%, or shouldn't even be more than 20%. Since it has been really bullish and expectations have been rising towards the last quarter. But nonetheless, I'll share with you what I plan to do with my Tesla holding. And we will start by talking about Tesla valuation, right? Okay, so let's get right into it. And the first chart I want to share with you is Tesla's PE, or rather the price earnings ratio history. As we can see from this price earnings chart, all right, this is basically a chart of Tesla's PE ratio, and it has been rising into the hundreds since Tesla reported earnings, started to report profits last year, right? So we can see here the PE ratio surged all the way to its highest level this year in 2021 February to about 1,300 plus, right? So 1,300 plus, as you can see on the top left corner over here, the figures. So as I move this area, you can see the PE ratio is in the about 1,300 plus at its peak. All right, so it's about 1,380. Now the thing is, Tesla, despite reporting record earnings for the second quarter and third quarter, you can see that despite record earnings, right, and also despite breaking historic new highs, all right, Tesla P ratio has been steadily declining, right, all the way right now to just below 400. In other words, Tesla's valuation, according to its PE, has actually reduced by more than 3 times since February. Okay, that was the previous high, and right now Tesla is sitting at a new all-time high, but its valuation, according to PE, has actually declined by more than 3 times. Okay. The next thing we want to look at is what is the general consensus for Tesla's Q4 earnings. All right. So based on this poll of 28 Wall Street analysts, we are expecting trailing 12 months full year EPS of $6.13. All right. We are looking at a full year EPS trailing 12 months of $6.13 for the year of 2021. So and we are also looking at about $8.30 for the full year of 2022. Okay. So I've actually plotted these two figures into a spreadsheet, and here we have different scenarios. All right. First and foremost, we can see that this was about the Tesla. Okay, anything in red color are estimates. The fonts that the red color fonts are estimates. All right, and the black color ones this one is okay. I would also say these are estimates. Okay. So these are the realized figures. So we know last year, the full year EPS was 64 cents. At its or the trailing 12 months when Tesla was its highest price, at the PE at the highest valuation, the EPS was only 64 cents. All right. So based on Tesla's historic high at this point, when the PE was highest, the EPS was only 64 cents. But Tesla's EPS has already risen, all right, and we have been seeing record EPS. We have been seeing record EPS in the last few quarters, and right now, as you have seen earlier, the full year estimate for 2021 is 6.13, and so I have this figure here, and if Tesla can maintain its PE ratio, we may possibly be looking at a price, all right, a price as high as 2,200, right? Because currently this is Tesla's PE ratio, right? So if the market continue to attribute such a high PE ratio with such a high expectation on Tesla towards end of Q4, which is when we get to have Tesla's earnings call in January, probably also around January, around 20th of January, around that day. If we and I believe that most likely Tesla is going to smash this EPS as what it has done in the last 2 quarters. Tesla is going to smash this EPS estimate, and if the market is still as bullish as it is now, we could be looking at a Tesla price of above 2,200. I know that is insane because that is already more than 2 trillion, right? So it may even surpass Apple and Microsoft valuation, you know. So I think that is, you know, is kind of ridiculous, unbelievable, but yet it is possible, all right, from the figures here. Now suppose we are a little bit more conservative, all right, if we are a bit more conservative. So I have actually 3 different scenarios here. This is the first scenario, which is a very bullish scenario, all right, based on Tesla's current PE. Now, if the market is not as bullish, we're looking at a reduced PE of 300, we will still be able to churn out a price of about $1,800. All right. Or I'm not saying that the price will reach 1,008, but even at $1,800 of share price, it's not going to be too much, okay? Because we are actually looking at a further decline of the EPS, all right, based on Tesla smashing this EPS estimate, right? Now, of course, this EPS can even be higher, but okay, so let's stick with this consensus figures. We just take the analyst consensus figures will do. Now, if we are even more conservative and let's reduce the EPS, let's reduce the PE further, all right, from the current 361 to 250, all right, if we further reduce Tesla PE to 250, all right, we will still be looking at $1,500 by January 2022, before entering into February 2022. So I think this is, what do you think? Realistic? Doable? I think so. Now, if we project a bit further into 2022, by the end of 2022, we could be looking at a full year EPS of 8.3. And if we continue to reduce the PE ratio, we are looking at the price of between 1,006 to 2,000, right? But I believe Tesla is going to smash the 830 consensus, all right? And analysts will be, kind of like, catching up, they will be catching up with their analysts and revising their estimates higher. So in this video, I'm not going to talk about all the fundamental reasons, the underlying business reasons why I believe Tesla is going to smash this consensus EPS. But this is just what I based on all the research I've done, I believe Tesla is going to smash this consensus EPS for the full year of 2022. So I think it is. I think it is possible. I think it is highly possible if Tesla continue to execute at the rate it is executing now, which is near perfection, and everything is moving in Tesla's favor. In fact, another one of the biggest bearish theses on Tesla is Tesla's competition. Right? I just want to show this. I think this is all over the news. All Tesla investors should know by now that Elon Musk was invited by Herbert Diess, the CEO of Volkswagen, to speak to more than 200 top executives of Volkswagen, right? Because the Volkswagen CEO believes that there's a lot for Volkswagen to learn from Elon Musk because, all right, I just highlight this. Tesla is Volkswagen's VW's strongest competitor, all right? In fact, VW there's a lot of catching up for VW, okay, to get to where Tesla is, right? So if you can always search and read up on this article. This article alone endorses that Tesla is indeed leading the EV revolution, and EV adoption is going to accelerate at a much faster pace than all the Wall Street analysts is expecting. All right, there is going to be lots of upside surprises that we are not yet seeing in this EV revolution. And the biggest auto manufacturer in the world, VW, is acknowledging Tesla as their strongest competitor, right? And that there's a lot more to catch up to Tesla. So I don't think it is over optimistic to believe that Tesla is going to continue to lead the EV revolution. And I believe in about even in 5 to 10 years time, when the EV market has started to, when the EV market, when EVs will be at least 50% of the world's automobiles, I think we can believe, it is believable that Tesla will still maintain about 40% of the global EV market share, right? So, but we are not looking into 5 years from now. We're not looking into 3, 5 years or 10 years from. We are looking at just the next 1 year, right? The next 1 year, these are very realistic valuation targets, all right? Anywhere from 1,005 to 2,000, very realistic, okay? So the next thing, the next thing I want to show you is Tesla's price chart. And we are looking at, by using Fibonacci extension we are looking at how strong Tesla is moving, how fast it is surging, and that we just closed at its all-time high with a lot of momentum. We can see here the stochastic is still at the overbought level, all right, signaling continued strength in momentum. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Tesla is going to surge past the 1.618 level, which is about 1,280 to 1,300, about there. All right, so yeah, so it's hard to say because we have looked at the valuation figures, and this is the ballpark figures, and Wall Street analysts have been raising price targets on Tesla. So it's really a difficult decision to make, a difficult call if I want to take profits. So let me show you my Tesla positions right now. All right, so here we are looking at my IB account. So these are all my Tesla positions. Well, you can see that actually the shares I'm holding is 2,700 shares, while the rest of my positions are in options. These are all the call options, and I've actually closed 20 put options last week. Those are deep in the money put options with $1,000 strike when I sold them when the share price was still about 650. So I've already taken quite a hefty amount of profits, but I'm still sitting on 66 Tesla call options, mostly expiring in about at least 2 years from now, except for this call here, which will only expire in 2024. So sitting on some pretty hefty profits. These are the unrealized. These are the unrealized profits. All right. So I've actually downloaded them on an Excel file. So let's refer to this instead. So in terms of my overall total portfolio size, these are, let me see, in terms of my total portfolio size, no, not this. Okay. Okay. So I'm only showing my Tesla positions here. So in terms of the Tesla positions, I have slightly more than half of my Tesla positions in shares, while the other 44% are in call options right now, as I already liquidated my put options. So so what I hope to is actually to sell off close to probably what I plan to is to sell off these two call options. All right, first I will sell off the upcoming March 22nd, 2022 March call options, which already is 500 over 1,000 US in the money. And then the final call options that I'll be planning to sell would be the January 2023 $1,000 Tesla call options. Yeah, both of them are deep in the money, and they constitute about close to 20% of my Tesla holdings. So what I hope to do is to be able to sell off as Tesla is peaking. So the big question mark is, when is Tesla price going to peak and go into a correction phase? So I think that is the crystal ball question. Unfortunately, I do not have the crystal ball, and it's hard to think anyone has the crystal ball. So as I'm doing this, I'm actually speculating. Just to be clear, I'm not making any price predictions here, but I'm actually speculating because it's inevitable that sometimes prices, very often, investors, traders move from extreme pessimism, like where we are here, in the 500, around the $500 range, where investors are extremely overly pessimistic. But we tend to move from over pessimistic to over optimistic here. All right. So I'm not saying that. So we have, it's indeed possible for Tesla to move all the way up to 1,005. Yeah, not impossible, as we have already validated with these numbers. But of course, I'm sure many will still argue that even at 250 PE, it is still very high. But the fact is, this is what investors at this time forecasting what Tesla is the kind of revenues and profits that Tesla is able to generate. This is the kind of valuation that investors are willing to pay Tesla right now. So even at 250, I think we are being very conservative. So meaning to say that even at 1,500, I think it is a price that the market could be willing to pay for. Yeah, because who are we to say that Tesla is overvalued when investors are willing to pay for it, right? And it can be justified with numbers anyway. And so the question, so we have to be very pragmatic with the way we do our evaluation. But looking at the price chart here, we are, if we are to look at this price move up here, this so-called impulse move up from here, we can see here, this is an impulse move, and then followed by a correction that lasted longer than this impulse move. And now we are actually moving higher again, we are actually going, this is another major impulse move. So, and looking at the way it is, surging, I think we, and because when the price action is surging like this, and especially here, yesterday we closed on the high. In fact, it continued to surge even after market hours. So this is a very bullish price action, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see it move, because yesterday alone it moved up. It rose about 10%, right? So I don't think it is. I don't think it is difficult for the price to move by a few more percent, because here we are only about 5 to 6% shy of 1285, right? So if for us to get to 1,300, we just need to move up by another 7 to 8%. Yeah, we just need to move up by another 7 to 8%, which I think is not difficult. All right, so I think that's going to be my conservative target. That's going to be my conservative target, and my bullish target, my ultimate bullish target would be 1,500, which would imply 100%, which would imply a 200% move, 200% of this impulse move here. All right. So this is 1.618 of this move here, and 1,005, or rather 1,000, about 1,450 would be 200% of this impulse move up here. So I think conservatively we can be looking at 1,300 for my first take profit target, and my second take profit target would be about 1,450. So because my Tesla calls right now, these two calls, the delta is already about 1, slightly more than 1. All right, the delta on these two calls are slightly more than 1, which means that $1 increase in price would result in at least $1 increase in the call option price. So from where we closed yesterday at 1,208, I can add another $90 to last night close. It will come up to about $448. All right. So I will be submitting an order, a limit order, to close my 900 March 22 Tesla call for 448. And I will also be submitting another sell order, okay, for my $1,000 call option for a price of $580. Right? So that's my plan. Okay. And well, I may well, not see. I may not be able to take profit at these two levels, as they are actually still very aggressive price targets. But I'm ready to hold them. Nonetheless, that's the risk I'm taking. But I'm not planning to sell any of the other positions, because these positions, I can hold these positions for at least more than 1 year, and I'm not planning on ever selling my Tesla shares, my 2,700 Tesla shares. And I may even be adding to my Tesla shares when we see the correction. But my plan is to sell off these two options, these two call options, and buy them back later. I may either buy them back later when it corrects, when it pulls back, maybe somewhere around these levels. When they pull back, then I will get in and buy the call options again, or I may sell deep in the money put options. Okay. So yes, please let me know if you have any questions or any comments. What do you think is, a conservative yet realistically achievable valuation target or price target for Tesla? Yeah, please leave your comments below, and yeah, questions as well. And congratulations once again to all the Tesla investors, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.